welcome back. Voting for the Congress presidential elections took place today, where around 9,000 delegates cast their vote. The results will be declared on October 19th, with senior party leaders Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor as the two contenders. Kharge has been seen as the candidate of the Gandhis, with a large number of senior Congress leaders backing him, including those from the G23. On the other hand, Tharoor has pitched himself as the candidate of change, but has made the charge of an uneven playing field, as many state unit leaders not only declared support for Kharge, but even campaigned for his elevation to the top post. The BJP has accused the new Congress chief of being a rubber stamp appointment. In fact, Kharge himself said that there is no shame in taking advice from the Gandhis on how to run the party. But for the first time in 24 years, a non-Gandhi is set to take over the party, after repeated attempts were made to convince Rahul Gandhi to take the reins once again. His focus remains on the Bharat Jodo Yatra, as the party aims for a revival on the road to the 2024 elections. The big question remains, is the Congress, the grand old party, ready for a non-Gandhi boss? Or is it getting a remote control chief in the garb of a revamp? Before I get the guests, here's what happened today.
Are you happy?
I've been waiting for a long time for this day.
It's a historic day for Congress. For the first time in 24 years, a non-Gandhi is set to take over the party. 9,000 delegates lined up in 48 polling stations to cast their vote for either Mallikarjun Kharge or Shashi Tharoor. Kharge is being seen as the approved candidate who filed his nomination at the 11th hour. But he maintains the Gandhis are not involved.
Some people, they are practicing or they are always defaming Gandhi family. That much I can tell. And purposely asking this question repeatedly, it means there is something I can say.
Ahead of the elections, Tharoor had alleged an uneven playing field and claimed that several state party chiefs had chosen to campaign for Kharge and not him.
My fate and the future of the Congress party is in their hands. I'm sure that whatever judgment they exercise will be in the best interest of the party.
Elections are being held 3 years after Rahul Gandhi stepped down from the top post following Congress's second straight defeat in Lok Sabha elections.
Thank you.
His mother, Sonia Gandhi, has been the party's interim president since then. Despite pressure from a section of Congress leaders, Rahul Gandhi refused to return as Congress chief. Instead, he's leading the party's Bharat Jodo Yatra, walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir in a Padyatra which is being seen as an attempt to revive Congress's fortunes ahead of the 2024 general elections.
मैसेज भी गया कि राहुल गांधी जी जो यात्रा कर रहे हैं उसमें एक संदेश क्या है? संदेश वो है जो देश के फ्यूचर से जुड़ा हुआ है, भविष्य से जुड़ा हुआ है, प्यार, मोहब्बत, भाईचारा, सद्भावना का माहौल बने देश के अंदर. उसी रूप में चुनाव जो हो रहे हैं, इनर पार्टी डेमोक्रेसी का प्रतीक है चुनाव ये.
So at the end of the day, will the next Congress party chief simply be a proxy for the Gandhi family?
And joining me now is Salman Khurshid, Congress leader. Mr. Khurshid, I appreciate your time. An election has taken place for the post of the Congress president after a period of over 20 years. Last one was rather an unequal contest between Sonia Gandhi and Jitendra Prasad in 2000. You would have seen that election. You are seeing this election as well. But the Congress, your party, is all set to get a non-Gandhi president for the first time since 1999. What does it actually mean, sir?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. But let's also be clear why and how this has become possible. This was a clear decision and an aspiration that our top leadership had. Mrs. Gandhi had a very clear aspiration that in the circumstances that we had arrived at, it was important that a flawless internal democratic election. We were all very keen for entire period. We were all very keen that Mr. Rahul Gandhi become president again. and many of us beseeched him to become president, but he was very clear in his mind that it was important that someone else in the party, whoever was preferred across the board in the party, should take over as president. And so, obviously, when that happens, there would be more than one candidate, obviously, and therefore we now have two candidates. One was disqualified, and we have two candidates in the field. Both are deserving, both are very good, both are very likable people. But obviously, some will prefer experience and age, some will prefer the excitement that is brought by a candidate like Shashi Tharoor, and let the best man win.
Fine enough. Let the best man win, Mr. Khurshid. What about you? Who do you prefer?
Well, I had a difficult choice because, as I said, one person I've known for a very, very long time from Karnataka. The other person has been a very, very dear friend. But I had to get the sense of the house, as it were, from Uttar Pradesh. And the sense of the house was that it was fine if I would go ahead and nominate Mr. Kharge, which is what I did. And that's about as much as is out in the open, and that's much I can tell you. The actual vote that is cast is obviously confidential, and that will never be known.
One view certainly is that Mr. Kharge is an unofficial establishment nominee, given the kind of support that he got, several, very clear on the surface. On the other hand, there is Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who has leveled this charge that this was an uneven level playing field.
Well, I mean, in elections, people say all kinds of things. But I think one can say that with some degree of comfort that whatever is being said is quite marginal. Let's not forget that Mr. Kharge has a huge and a long period in which he has served in very important positions in the party, and therefore he's touched so many people during his career. Shashi Tharoor is, as I said, an exciting person. Shashi Tharoor, I'm sure, also has some very, very committed supporters. It wasn't an easy choice. But I can say for myself at least clearly, nobody ever spoke to me to say nominate Mr. Kharge and then stick to Mr. Kharge. It was my choice that I chose to nominate Mr. Kharge after having got the sense of the House from my colleagues in Uttar Pradesh, and that I have continued to support him. But because I was given to understand that the moral responsibility of people in the working committee was to ease off on campaign, etc., and not do vigorous a campaign for anyone. We stood by that moral precept. But there were other people who were in office who were told not to campaign at all because they held some party office. And I think that's about as fair as you can get in the existing system in our party. Now, if somebody has a perception of one kind or another, I don't know whether there is any way to eliminate it entirely.
My last question to you, Salman Khurshid. Would you say that these elections have actually strengthened the unity of the Congress, given the fact that Mr. Kharge, when he filed his nomination papers, several members of the G23 were not only present, they were also proposers?
Well, I think that's an important factor, but this is not everything. I think a lot will depend, frankly, on how we take whoever becomes the president, takes the party forward, and takes the party forward in consultation and with the advice and with the regular scrutiny, as it were, of our top leadership. Whoever becomes president will become part of the top leadership, but the top leadership is there without an election. You don't have to decide in an election whether somebody is the top leader of the Congress or not. I think that's apparent on the ground, that's apparent in the air, and that's apparent to most of us who work closely in the party. How these things are worked upon in the future, I think will be very important. And ultimately, the two candidates in this election, how quickly they accept whatever has happened, put it behind, and then stick together, come together to contribute a comprehensive unity in the party and a commitment to work together. I think that all will be a major contribution. Let's not forget that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is continuing with tremendous elan, with tremendous support across the board. And this, as it moves forward into other states, more popular states of North India, I guess will be also a very critical factor.
All right, Salman Khurshid, I appreciate your time. I hope to see you on 19th again when the results are announced. Thank you so much. Let me bring in Charan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress, and Rahul Verma, fellow of CPR India. We'll be joined by Shazia Elmi as well. Rahul Verma, what do these elections mean for the Congress and also for the opposition at large?
So it depends how you want to look at this elections. For a critic, it will mean nothing. For a Congress die-hard supporter, it will mean everything, as you heard Salman Khurshid. And for an optimist, there is at least something. And so election in some way, whoever becomes the president, though it seems everyone has already declared Mr. Kharge as the winner, it won't mean anything unless Mr. Kharge, once he becomes president, manages to achieve or what all is expected of the new Congress president to achieve, right? Basically, trying to win some election for the party in the run-up to 2024, revive the organizational base, create some sort of long-term messaging. And all of these are difficult things. And so for any president or for any person, these are basically momentous tasks. So position itself is not going to change Congress's trajectory. Whoever becomes the president, along with the Congress top leadership, including the Gandhis, how they plan ahead and how much they manage to implement will shape up things.
Okay. Charan Singh Sapra, the big charge certainly is that if anything, this was a fixed match.
See, Maria, I don't understand why.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, yes, Mr. Sapra.
Can you remove this echo?
Yes, I'll get that done.
See, Maria, I fail to understand why. Why the media or the BJP is saying like this, that it's a fixed match. Let me tell you that there was absolutely no interference from the Gandhi family in the entire electoral process. And also let me tell you that the entire electoral process was very transparent. The Chief Election Authority, Mr. Madhusudan Mistry, has been conducting it very fairly. Whatever objections which Mr. Tharoor had, he had mentioned, even those were cleared by Mr. Madhusudan Mistry. I feel the election process was absolutely fair. Congress has done a good job. There is a revival of Congress.
No, but how is this a revival? If elections are happening, very well, but how is this a revival of the Congress? And particularly, let's not forget, Mr. Sapra, you have an immediate challenge in Gujarat and in Himachal, and in both these states, you're not even seen to be fighting elections.
Maria, wind of change we are seeing, and how can you say that we are not seen to be fighting in Gujarat? Our local unit is there, local leaders are campaigning.
Can I ask you one question? Who is the Gujarat state president of the Congress party?
No.
Who's the Gujarat state president of the Congress party?
Let me complete. Maria, please let me complete. Even in Himachal Pradesh, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi has gone there. These are absolutely false things which you are mentioning over here, that Congress is not concerned about Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. Mr. Rajiv Shukla is working over there in Himachal Pradesh. Likewise, the in charge of Gujarat, who was a former minister in Rajasthan, he's over there.
We have Shazia Ilmi now. Shazia, will you compliment the Congress party for holding elections? As your political opponents, will you say that it's good that the Congress party, your principal opponent, is actually seen to be holding organizational elections?
Well, I'm nobody to compliment or to criticize, especially on this, because I don't even know what has led to this and what has transpired and whether it's really an election, a real election at all. So I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that this is a very important moment for the Congress party. I don't say it as a spokesperson of BJP or as a member, but somebody who has been in public life, who's watched the going-ons in our politics, in our body politic. I think it's a very important and a decisive time to really know whether something like inner democracy is indeed possible. And of course, the outcome of the election will tell us a lot, whether the loyalist has won or the dissenter. So I guess we will know only after the result is out as to whether really an inner democracy has prevailed, or it is the shadow of the first family, the royal family of Congress party that has again
Okay, Charan Singh Sapra,
this is the concern. All other considerations.
Yes, this is the concern for many, that what really...
I just say it as a citizen, I just say it as a citizen, I have no axe to grind, yes. Or,
that's more of a statement as a political analyst. That's what Shazia has said. She had donned that cap before making that statement. Yeah. So, Charan Singh Sapra, the concern, of course, would be what will be the role of Mr. Kharge? Mr. Kharge here is saying clearly that there is no shame in seeking advice from the Gandhis, yes. But the focus of this entire, while organizational elections are happening, but the Congress party's primary focus right now is Bharat Jodo Yatra. The face of that Yatra is Rahul Gandhi. So what will be the equation between Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Kharge?
See, Maria, let me tell you, whosoever gets elected, day after tomorrow or the result, whether it is Shashi Tharoor or whether it is Kharge, they will get a fair chance, they will get a free hand. Of course, the Bharat Jodo Yatra is a separate thing which is going on, basically to, strengthen the organization and to take the issues in which BJP has failed in the country. It is a different issue. The party election is a different issue. Now, let me also tell you that after whosoever becomes the president, he will coordinate with all the workers of Congress
party. I think we should also say that the first family has betrayed and failed the party.
Let me make it clear. No, BJP should first answer that what electoral process BJP has followed till today. Who elected JP Nadda or Rajnath Singh or Amit Shah or the earlier president?
Listen,
who was the chief election authority of Bharatiya Janata Party?
No, you give me one name of chief election authority. So, is Rahul's idea to Bharat Jodo is before his Bharat Jodo? I mean, I just want to know where exactly does it fit in with this frequent Bharat Jodo campaign? Is it meant for him alone?
Or who contested against Amit Shah or Rajnath Singh or
I will answer.
Who contested against them? There was absolutely no election. Only two people choose president in BJP. These two people have also decided to extend the term of JP Nadda.
Mr. Sapra,
and you are talking about democracy.
You're repeating
yourself.
You have
to learn democracy.
It's a waste of time, footage, energy, all of it. And you're not even saying anything new.
You have to learn democracy.
It is so cliched and boring. No, it's really, it's very hackneyed. No, let's do something new and let's just sound fresh for a change.
Give me one name of chief election authority of BJP if you have in all these years. हो गया नहीं, नाम दीजिए, नाम दीजिए, आपके पास कुछ है नहीं और हमको सिखाने के लिए
आप पहले मैं क्यों नाम लूं? मुझे कुछ जवाब देना है आपको. सुनिए भाई साहब, मुझे आपको कुछ जवाब नहीं देना है. आपको इवेंचुअली भारत देश को और अपनी पार्टी के लोगों को जिनको थोड़ी बहुत उम्मीद है आपकी पार्टी से, उनको जवाब देना है. मुझे आपको कोई जवाब नहीं देना है. खुदा का शुक्र है. मैं दूसरी बात आपसे कहना चाह रही हूँ, ये भारत छोड़ने के मूड में जो रहते हैं राहुल जी, जो विजिटर स्टेटस है इंडिया में, तो ये भारत जोड़ो कैंपेन कब तक करेंगे? जब तक उनको भारत छोड़ने का मन नहीं करेगा कि ये लगातार आपकी जो कैंपेन चलती रहेगी.
Okay, Charan Singh Sapra and Shazia Ilmi, one moment.
Calm down, sir. Don't hyperventilate.
Right. Okay. Rahul Verma.
She's trying to heckle me.
What is the question, Maria?
Okay. I'm moving away from the politicians.
I'm not heckling, I was just asking a very small question.
No. Rahul Verma, the question again is what will change in the Congress if Mr. Kharge, 80-year-old, largely who has focused on Karnataka politics, becomes the party president? Because, whatever said and done, the real test of any president of a party is electoral victories. Elections are the biggest validation. And for the Congress party, again I am saying, not even seen to be fighting in the state of Gujarat and Himachal, the immediate challenge in the next 1.5 months. What does it actually mean then?
Absolutely, Maria, you're right. See, I think, and that's why there are a lot of questions about what Congress party is doing at the moment. Bharat Jodo Yatra is one of the most significant thing Congress is doing in last few years to revive the party. But the Yatra is not going through two crucial states that are going for polls, Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. So these are natural questions for anyone who's sitting outside to ask, what is Congress party's strategy? Then whatever Congress party is going to claim, and of course their charges about other parties, including BJP, how their internal elections are conducted are right. But at the end of the day, BJP is in power. You have been out of power and losing elections. So there are going to be questions on whether the new president is remote controlled or not. And Congress has to face these questions. In some ways, I think it doesn't matter who becomes the president. That's what I was saying even in my first answer. There are enormous challenges for the new Congress party president. And we have to remember in most parties, sometimes the president and leader is one, and sometimes the leader and president is two different people. In Congress party, as of now, even if a non-Gandhi becomes a president, he is not going to become the leader of the party. That mantle still remains with the Gandhis, and with the Bharat Jodo Yatra, that mantle will further be cemented with Rahul Gandhi. So it depends on whoever becomes the president. First, can they carve out an identity for themselves, an independent identity for themselves? Second, can they take independent decisions? And third, are those decisions going to help and revive the party? And you rightly mentioned those things are basically winning elections, reviving the organization, and creating a clear ideological message. And
yes,
all of this
Rahul,
is very, very
winning
difficult.
winning election and winning election. That's all. That is all that matters. Your organization, if it's strong, then it can win election. Everything is linked to winning election. You know, finally, that is the outcome.
Not necessarily, but okay.
Yes, I mean, just look at it. Again, I'm saying the same. You may say that I'm repeating myself, but just look at the entire Yatra route that is being questioned. Charan Singh Sapra, I have 30 seconds for you. Of course, 19th is going to be an important day for the party because that day, the grand old party will be deciding its direction. And that day, the opposition space for the grand old party will also be decided. What role you will be playing in the opposition space?
Maria, whosoever gets elected on 19, the president will definitely have a big task. He has to strategize things in a new way. But of course, it is a consultative process. He has to consult in the party like, JP Nadda. He cannot take any decision unilaterally. He discusses maybe with Amit Shah or maybe with Narendra Modi. Similarly, we have a Congress working committee.
There is difference.
The earlier president or the current president.
That's not really the right example or the analogy, Charan Singh Sapra. The consultative process here is, the leader here is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he is the face, he is the biggest mascot who is winning elections for the party. There is Mr. Nadda, who is the party president. Yeah. What is the equation between Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Kharge? Rahul Gandhi is a member of parliament, right? Mr. Kharge is going to be the party president. Then what will be the equation between them? Will be then equation
between them. Let me tell you, the Gandhi family has a unique position in Congress party.
Fine.
They will be the guiding force for any president. Third, this Gandhi family has sacrificed their life for the country. Two Gandhi family members have, died working for the country. So there is a different, unique position for the Gandhi family.
Charan Singh Sapra, let's continue this discussion on 19th as well. So let's see how events unfold on 19th and post that. Thank you so much for joining me, Charan Singh Sapra, Rahul Verma and Shazia Ilmi. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much.